what a fucking terrifying armadillo, dinosaur, crocodile, bipedal fuck no of a creature that is. Welcome aboard the Starship Jefferies, and thank you for joining us on our continuing voyages through the final frontier. I'm your Captain Ian Whittington, and with me as always, she wants to see her dad. Now. Is that massive today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That happened. Captain Picard did that last week.
Can we get right into me watching you get emails and notes about what shows to put in this season of WTF Trek?
Yeah.
And you are just so giddy. It's like, so we have a 3D printer and you geek out on that and you're like mid-maxing it and all this stuff. And you've got like your little things that you're doing. It's like that went over into the creation of the rest of the season, and you're like a little mad scientist getting data and input and running your little things. And you came out one time, you're like, the rankings have completely changed.
It's so fun. This excited. Is my, where you are famous for hating ranking things. I love ranking things. I love ranking things based on a lot of data as well. So we've had quite a few people message in with what they want the next 4 episodes to be. So, as promised, I went onto our Patreon and did a free public post with the 11 contenders, and the top 4 are highlighted in bold. And I just want people to message me with their top 4 that they definitely want to have covered. And their number 1 gets 4 points, their number 2 gets 3 points, their number 3 gets 2 points, and their number 4 gets 1 point. And based on that, the rankings will change and move around. And the more people we have message in, the more the rankings moved around. And it completely reshaped the table. And this is going to happen each week because we're going to reset each week. So because we're covering one of the episodes, you can resend your new top 4 so you can include a new one if it's the episode that we covered. So it's just really fun to me. And it has completely changed. And what I love is that there is a surprise episode that is creeping its way from the bottom all the way up into the top 4.
What is it?
It's the Royale from TNG. I love this episode. It is a bit what the fuck, but it's mainly what the fun for me. Like I think it's really goofy and fun. But it was like right at the bottom. I think only one person suggested it. But when it went into the mix, people were like, "Oh yeah, the Royale could be fun." And it's jumped up into 6. And it might make it to the top 4. I don't think it will, but it might. But it's really fun to have you guys message us and shape the next 4 episodes.
Yeah, and it's really fun to watch you. I feel like the next evolution is that you're going to haul up some old screen, plug it into an old computer, and then somewhere in our house, we're just going to have a live ranking view with it's more likely, live updates.
It's more likely to be a conspiracy board with the red string and everyone's username pointing historically to all of their votes. Because when I updated the post on the blog post on Patreon, I put what their previous position was. So it's like, this is now in 4th, was 7th. This is now in 2nd, was 6th. This is now in 7th, was 11th. So it just tweaks me because you can see where the little episode that could is rising up.
So thank you guys for participating. And of course, there's never any pressure. I mean, the joy of a podcast is that you stick it in your ears and you just listen to it wherever you enjoy listening to your podcast, and you never have to participate. You never have to support us on Patreon or visit the blog post or go to the Discord to enjoy the show. We never want you to feel like you have to do those things. But for those that do want to do it, thank you, because I got to see a little glimmer of what that does to Ian, Captain, and it was delightful to watch.
It's so fun. Thanks, guys. Well, we will announce that the next week's episode has been decided and has been voted upon, and we'll announce that at the end of the episode. But this week, we are doing TNG Genesis.
This is going to be an interesting one.
Is really interesting because you've seen this relatively recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it last episode. This is the first time that I will be watching an episode on our show. So for almost 4 years, we've managed to watch a whole bunch of Star Trek, and I haven't watched any of it.
Mm-hmm.
this is the first time I've already seen one.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's kind of crazy.
We've gone 4 years almost.
Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to... obviously, I can't ask you for predictions.
Right.
But can I ask you what you remember?
Yeah. I mean, this is a really fun episode for me because when I did watch it, if you were to ask me, hey, Deneé, what is an episode of Star Trek that would be in like what the fun series? This is the one I would pick because it was really surprising whenever I watched it.
Yeah.
And true, like put yourself into a room. Ian and I are putting on some Star Trek to watch, but for funsies. Just like it's a normal life. This isn't for the show, which is a normal life. And Ian's like, I've got something in mind. And with a little twinkle in his eye. And then it was like, I remember watching this and then looking over at you with like a questionable look on my face. And you got this big grin. You're like nodding like,
It gets weirder.
Yeah. You're like, just wait.
But the reason I picked those, there's a few episodes like that I've picked. And I tend to pick ones that, if we're watching them, it's because we've done a lot already. So I'm like, we're not scraping the bottom, but we're like, a certain set of circumstances has to come up for us to watch this. And Genesis was like, when are we going to watch this? Under what circumstances would we watch it?
I don't remember how long ago it was, but we never know what the show is going to cover either. So it's like, we either don't watch Star Trek ever, except for the show, but we have recently started watching it for funsies on the side. And he will have me name random numbers, and then that's how we pick the season and the episode so that he doesn't like pick something and be biased. But this one you intentionally put in front of my face. I remember being shocked by just about everything. I have a clear vision of Frog Deanna Troi popping out of a tub. That's like, I think that's like the only thing that I genuinely, I have no doubt in my mind I saw that happening.
Is a sentence that you said.
But what I am going to look for this time, or now that I've seen it, it's going to change a bit of my viewing experience because like, was the environment also turning into like a jungle? How did that happen with the ship? I don't remember if the ship was evolving based on everyone's individual needs or if it was just the people or devolving. So yeah, this one had a lot of questions. I kind of just tucked it away after we watched it. Like, oh, that's something I watched. But today we're going to, kind of get a little bit deeper. So I'm excited about it.
I love that. It's also very fitting because this is our closest episode to Halloween. And other than Cat's Paw, which is an episode I can't believe hasn't made this list, this is about the most Halloween-y episode that we ever get.
Why?
Because it's kind of horror.
Kind of more horror?
Yeah, it's in the horror vein. Yeah.
What about the worm ripping through their body?
That's just fucking weird.
That was horror
as well. Yeah, that was body horror. Yeah, that could count. Anyway, let's head over to the holodeck to watch the episode, and we'll see you in 10 forward for a full debrief. We're now safe to use the transporters once more.
I will never use a transporter.
Teach me out.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the replicator and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched together. Most important thing first. What would you like from the replicator, Ambassador?
I think I want a phaser. I need to protect myself today.
Yep.
Yeah, today is a protection day because I feel very strongly that I would be a great match for Worf.
In what condition?
Any
Worf is like a reptile. He's like full Klingon mating ritual. You're in the bathtub.
Like if it's me and Deanna, he's going to pick me. So like if I'm in this episode, then I'm the one that he's coming after. And I feel like my whatever de-evolved Deneé would be, which I guess we get to pick.
I would love to know.
Because the idea is that like everybody is de-evolving to something that's somewhere inside the DNA sequence. So you could be a lemur, you could be a frog, you could be this. So whatever I de-evolve into, I hopefully would remember how to use a phaser to protect myself against the...
Now I'm just for some reason picturing a bat just trying to manhandle a phaser, just flubbing it. What would you be? You'd be like a...
Something very dangerous.
Guinea fowl or something.
How did you go guinea? You think I'd be a...
Yeah,
that's
just
like a mindless pecker. I wouldn't be a mindless pecker.
No, sorry, peacock then. And you just like... show off your plumage.
I would be dangerous, like
sloth,
dinosaur. Like
we did not evolve from dinosaurs. That's the problem. They died.
Okay, no, you're right.
I just want to be a chicken. Right. You could be a chicken.
I have to be something that's like animalistic, but then still powerful.
Honey badger.
Yeah, I'm a fucking honey badger. Honey Badger versus Proto.
Worf wins. I'm sorry, Worf is stumped. There should be 2 crew members left on board, and purely because they were in a bit of the ship Worf couldn't get to. Anyway, Ambassador, I'm going to pick the adorable little pink collar that is around Spot the iguana, because the collar is adorable. Kind of want the iguana as well, to be honest. Give us a synopsis, Ambassador.
In this episode, Beverly causes the end of everyone's life as they know it on the Enterprise by just mixing up a little T-cell soup without really taking a moment to go, maybe I should test this before I inject it into somebody. And when she doesn't do that, it somehow becomes an airborne virus pathogen thingy and infects the entire Enterprise. And so there are T-cells mixed with some incubator shit called a thing that I wrote down that I don't have in front of me, and
not interferon. That's the house thing. Interon.
Introns.
No, that's not right.
Intron. I think that's right.
Intron.
The introns, and it activates a merger of DNA, and so we get to see some cool prosthetic action in today's episode where our beloved crew becomes what they could be in some sort of evolutionary nightmare scape. Dun, dun, dun! 4 pips for me. I fucking love this episode. This is the kind of Star Trek that I love. Fuck yeah. I love this episode so fucking much. It has everything that I want. I could rave about this for all day long, but I am so happy.
This is amazing. And I'm going to just give me a minute to take this in. I feel like I know you pretty well. The last couple of weeks, we've had discussions where you've revealed things that I've been like, I maybe don't know her as well as I thought, or maybe she is evolving herself. I would never pick this as being one of the episodes that you love, because you're not a fan of like horror and like body horror and like scary
Mm-hmm.
tensiony things. Like I just would not. I'd have been like, yeah, she thinks this is a cool episode, fine. But this like level of love, I want to know more. Like this makes me so happy. And you didn't have this reaction the first time we watched it. I remember you being like, that's a pretty cool episode. Like, what a wacky, fun episode. But now you're gushing. I need to know more. Tell me, I need to synthesize this love.
Well, I think it's impossible to like figure out the exact science of what somebody loves and then try to duplicate that over and over again. But I appreciate that you want to show me things that I like, because obviously it's a lot of fun. But I think what I liked about this is that it's an adventure. Everybody's involved. It's my crew, like my TNG and my jam, you know.
But they're not in it for most of the episode.
No, everybody kind of has a moment though. They're all sort of there doing like their thing, you know. And there's this camaraderie that you can feel in the scenes, you know. It's such a strong episode. It's so confident that it's okay to go really, really way out there. So the first scene where you're just starting in the middle of a crazy day in sickbay, and
that's my title, busy day in sickbay.
Yeah. And like everybody's just sort of casually getting along, and Beverly is, you know, ribbing Riker for going to the Arboretum and rolling around in a cactus or whatever, and with another person.
Fraternizing with the crew.
Yeah, there's just this sort of like you know, lightness, and you get to see Broccoli,
yeah.
You know, annoying Beverly, but it's like that representation of a very unique personality that you don't usually see in the TNG stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things about Barclay in general, is that he represents a not perfect version of Starfleet. So not everyone is like polished and well done. He has anxiety, he makes mistakes, he screws up. Like the first episode he's in, they're going to put him off the ship because his performance isn't good enough. Like he is underperforming. So he's a very human, relatable character. I love the Barclay episodes.
Yeah, and like then we also get to play with the characters, not just the prosthetics, but like their fears.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unnerving to see Picard fall apart in this episode.
Oh my gosh,
and
yes.
So you get to see what would Worf be like if he was terrifying? What would Riker be like if he would... Because when you take away the comfortable bullet points of what makes a character, like a lovable character for you, like that comfortable character for you, you know, we've seen these particular characters over and over again, and you instinctively and psychologically get comfortable with them because they fit into your mold and your model. And so then when you tune into TNG, you know what your character is going to do, and that's part of what you love. But here we are in season 7, and they're comfortable and familiar with each other, and then it subverts your comfort. Like when Riker turns around and he's not Riker anymore, or when Picard starts to fall apart and get scary.
I couldn't tell the difference with Riker. I thought you looked the same.
Shut up. We're like Worf, you know.
Yes.
Before we really know what's going on, and he starts to get really aggressive, and it just makes you really uncomfortable. Or there's just, it's doing something where it's making the mystery known, the mystery of the episode. And then like the resolution of the episode is fun because of course it's Data at the helm figuring it out. And there's really good humor in it too. And it's maybe even unintentional humor when Picard wonders what he's going to be de-evolving into. And Data just so casually says, well, marmoset or a lemur of some kind.
Marmoset or a lemur. And Picard is like visibly offended. Like, Data didn't pick it. He's just following the bunny trail.
It's so interesting. So it hits on me on a lot of levels. But you're right. There was this element of horror and mystery. But because I've seen it before, that sort of helped me enjoy it more this time and kind of appreciate what this episode was doing. You know, like it takes it out of experiencing it and being surprised, which was wild the first time I watched it. This is the second time I remember watching this one. And it makes it more like I don't know, I just kind of appreciated what they were swinging for here, even though it is fucking bonkers.
It is some of the worst science in all of Star Trek, and we've seen some pretty bad examples in this season alone. But for me, it's the most fun application of that science. Like, this is probably I think it is my favorite episode of the run that we're going to do, because I know all of the potential options. This is my favorite episode of the season. It's so much fun. It's so silly, but we're in season 7, so everyone is really comfortable around each other. So the wacky premise I'm fine with, because it is all of my favorite TNG people at the height of their comfortability with each other. This wouldn't work in season 1. It absolutely, none of this would work. It's such a testament to them knowing each other as actors and as characters as well. It's such a fun adventure, crazy episode.
I mean, there's a really good chance that somebody clicks over on the TV and watches this one. It's the first thing that they ever see in Star Trek.
This is your first episode of Star Trek. I salute you. This is a great one.
I feel like something would be missing for that.
This is all you need.
For that person,
no, you're right.
Because there is just this, I don't know, there's just this like discomfort of the character. Like you wouldn't know how different Picard is being.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. Specifically.
I need to add one thing into the synopsis, and if I could, it would be, we never find out why the torpedo went away. That mystery is never solved. But that,
Worf fucked up.
That's it?
That's it. Worf fucked up. Yeah. He refined the targeting system and he screwed it up.
We never find out why the Jefferies tube is being eaten away with some organic material.
It's Worf, yeah. Worf has been dribbling around the ship, either at night or, he's just been going around the ship in the tubes, hunting and dribbling everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought, I didn't think it was just Worf. Like I thought there was something else going on.
No, it might be more than one. It could be more than one person, but we know Worf has the venom. It was
Worf venom.
Yeah, Worf venom. Yeah.
And also, how could I not love this episode? We're seeing like Klingon shit, and we know how I feel about Klingon shit.
I don't
know why.
Pretty much everybody that de-evolves that we see is human. Obviously, Deanna is half Beta Z, but she's a frog. Worf de-evolves into, I don't know how any life on Kronos survived Klingons, if that's what they were like. What a fucking terrifying armadillo, dinosaur, crocodile, bipedal, fuck no, of a creature that is. venom sacs, huge head, claws, scary, hunting, mating, terrifying creature. Just incredible. I feel like what Klingons are now is a de-evolution of what that creature is.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
It kind of reminds me of the idea of the Gorn in a way.
Yeah.
If we were to see a Gorn in a million years and they were very sort of humanoid snake lizard hybrid looking.
Yeah.
And then you go back and see what they started off going, they're way cooler as this version.
You mean in the arena when we see them as bipedal? Yeah.
No, I was thinking even more anime than that. Just smooth features.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's amazing.
And Spot. We can't forget Spot. Spot in this episode is amazing. That was my biggest. I forgot several things. So we talked about before we watched the show. And all I really remembered was Troy in the bathtub, and I remembered that Worf was pissed, but I didn't remember a lot else. As the show was sort of revealing itself, I thought, oh yeah, there's like a spider guy, right? But I totally forgot that Spot de-evolves into a lizard.
It's wild. Like, some stuff just went out the window. Like, I don't know how much science, like, I know we have like some shared ancestors and there is like a lot of messy overlap and like different branches, but the jump back to perfect lizard is wild.
That was crazy.
That's got to be just for a gag. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if they walk in and Spot is a lizard? That's
somebody that works on the crew, and I have this pet iguana, and I really want him to be in the show somehow.
What do we have? We have a hamster and an iguana.
Like, okay, which one would the cat devolve into? Let's go something completely unexpected.
No one had a saber-toothed tiger, clearly.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun. It had everything that I would want my TNG to have, which is like something unique happening. And I was really surprised at several points. Like, it was very unnerving watching Worf bite Deanna.
Yeah.
But it also kind of makes sense. And we did go into a lot of scientific talk, but this was more medical. Like, this one had a lot of med chat. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't keep up with any of that very well. But
neither can science.
But it's okay because everybody's back to normal before too long, and then we're just all kind of like, let's just pretend that never happened. And Beverly has her face back, and we're okay.
Yep. Speaking of Beverly, directed by Gates McFadden, the first episode that she's directed.
Oh, really?
Directed by Beverly. I love that so much. What an episode to direct. Like, what a crazy, bonkers episode to bring to screen. And honestly, I think she does an incredible job. And the first big clue for me that this is a really well-directed, well-thought-out episode is actually all of the cold open in sickbay. So this, I love. I've obviously seen this episode many times. It's another go-to episode for me and my dad. And this cold open, like when I really analyzed it this time, it is such a clever cold open because on the surface of it, it's like, wow, that was really busy. A lot happened. But then we go to the opening credits and then into the show and you could forget about it and just be like, well, I guess that was nothing. I guess it wasn't related to anything at all because it just goes like person to person, almost like they're at a bar and just going from individual problem to problem. But every single element and every person they talk to and highlight is crucial for the story. It is incredible foreshadowing for the episode.
Yes. Yeah, it really is a clever beginning. Because there are some times when they start off and it's just them around a poker table and it's genuinely not related. Yeah. So, but everybody in there ends up being pretty exposed pretty quickly.
Yeah, I love this because it gives you all of the pieces that you need. And that's efficient storytelling for me. You get into Barclay's hypochondria, which actually leads to a gene that needs to be awoken to fight off this disease. Spot is
not the disease of the show, but like something else.
Some other flu that he has, Rigelian hip fever or something.
He has a flu.
You have Spot being pregnant, which leads to the reveal of Alyssa being pregnant. Both things are going to be crucial to finding a cure. The only thing that's a little out of the blue is Riker rolling around in the cactus. So I guess that's just your humor beat. But yeah, each bit is so important. I think it's really, really smart. And there's like the way that opening scene clips along is so fun as well. It's just everyone knows their mark when she says to Barclay, stay out of the medical database. Riker is right there and you stay out of the Arboretum. Like the blocking for that, to get technical, is so good to watch. It pleases my brain.
Yeah, and then it has these little hints. And because I've seen it before, I knew this time to watch out for them. So it wasn't just this obscure Deanna is having an aggressive lunch with an angry Worf because he fucked up. You know that something is brewing underneath the surface there. And she's not just drinking water. She's acclimating to her environment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The one other thing in that cold open, which has every Star Trek fan at the time scratching their head, was, wait, what? Spot's a boy. Spot has been a boy all 6 seasons of Star Trek until he suddenly needs to be a girl in this episode to be pregnant. And they so like deliberately say she and her throughout this episode, and it's so confused. It's not so confusing, but it's like, no, Spot, unless Spot died and this is a new Spot. Like, I expect the cat itself to change, but the sudden gender swapping definitely had people scratching their heads.
Yeah. It's a strange one that definitely is distracting when you know that Data would know the gender of the cat.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Data in this episode knows the gender of all of the cats on the Enterprise because he plans to find out who impregnated his beloved Spock.
He's going to have stern words with that cat. I have a question about that, Deneé. Did anything strike you as strange about that specifically?
Well, I would think that, you know, all of the animals would have been spayed or neutered going onto the ship anyway, because resources, I would assume, would be very important on a spaceship.
No, it's only on Voyager. We're in a post-scarcity society. We can replicate everything, so that doesn't matter.
Is it having pets? Are you saying like having pets is
they have kids, so pets is fine.
You said it, not me.
Just say things.
You said it, not me.
No, the interesting thing is, okay, the doors aren't activated by animals, but I can understand Data walking out and maybe Spot slips out and escapes. Or maybe somebody is feeding Spot because Data is on a long shift and Spot escapes. Mm-hmm. How is it getting off of Data's deck? Like, unless all 11 of those cats happen to be on the same deck, is he riding a turbo lift? Is somebody getting on the turbo lift with Spot? Not reporting that there's a cat walking around the ship? How did Spot get pregnant? I
would not
That's the mystery.
Any idea until recently when I stole my neighbor's cat and I now am becoming a cat expert.
But
this cat, shush, listen to me very carefully because you obviously don't know cats like I do. Yes, sure, you've been around cats for 30 some years and I've only been around cats for 2. But listen, I know now the answer to this question. Cats are magical beings.
Yeah, that's it.
They have an ability to go invisible. I cannot tell you how many times this cat that I have is like 13 fucking pounds. He's a big cat. And I have lost him in the house so many times. All the doors are shut. I have no idea where he is. And suddenly he fucking appears out of nowhere. Like he just beamed in and he's talking to me about being hungry or whatever he needs.
He'll walk from a direction that we know we searched.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
that's fair.
To make it even worse, I lost him yesterday for 2 hours only to realize he was laying on the rug. The cat is black and white. The rug is black and white. And he was just on the rug.
Camouflage.
But he was so still and curled up in a little ball. And he just sort of like his little coloration happened to match the coloration of the cats are magical. So I fully believe Spock could have gotten out.
It's still crazy to me. But he got out and went to a different deck. We left the door open for Thunderstorm. You're not leaving the turbo lifts open.
Yeah, but
he's got to get to a different deck.
What about the tubes of the Jeffrey?
Because he's not going to climb up. They don't just have open hatch. He'd have to open a hatch.
You don't know that.
That's even less likely than a turbo lift.
Human error. Someone forgets to put a couple screws back in place and all of a sudden they're just like, yep, I'm going to zip.
I don't know. I feel like the ship's computer could also track
Well, yeah.
His walkabouts.
But they didn't know to track.
Walkabouts.
They didn't know to track her walkabouts until now.
Anyway, that's
what
really
if
the most
cat
important.
Has figured out how to beam.
That really is the most important thing to figure out. If the cat can talk, if the universal translator can translate cat speak.
There you go.
And
now you're on it.
Spot's just like, beam me to that hot ginger cat upstairs. I want to get some impregnation. Anyway, we move on.
The computer would say, I don't need to know all that information, but I can...
We haven't watched the episode, but it's one of my favorite. This is such a tangent, but screw it. Data is talking to the computer about something, and the computer says, please specify. And Data goes on one of his like diatribe things about like fully over explaining this thing to the computer, and the computer cuts him off and it's just like, that would be sufficient, Commander.
Oh,
and Data like gives him a little look, gives the computer a little look. I love it so much. I wish I could remember what episode that was. I think it's an early one, but it's great. Anyway, once we come back from the opening credits, we have a very self-satisfied Worf who is protesting how incredible his new targeting systems are, and then a torpedo promptly disappears. Deanna.
Yes, Riker.
Deneé. Oh, I blush. Deneé, did it hurt to see Worf fuck up and Riker like rub it in? I don't know. I've never noticed really how much Worf gets shit upon. He really does.
Well, I also did not notice how much he is shit upon because we're not watching a lot of TNG. But based on some of the, live chat and then I guess that's kind of a thing that happens. And it does make me sad because the joke has to be that we get to kind of bring the proud man down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the kind of humor vibe. But in my world, he didn't fuck up. He just hasn't figured out what went wrong yet.
No, he fucked it up. And this is what simulations are for, people. This is why you test these things in like the holodeck or you run simulations. But no, it malfunctions and it disappears. Which means that we have to get Captain Picard, of course. And there's no real reason to get Captain Picard off the ship other than we want him in the story. He goes off with Data to track down the torpedo because, and I really, really like this, the asteroid field is unusually dense. And
it's just like me.
No, you're usually dense.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
What I love about this is that there's a sci-fi cliche stereotype about asteroid fields.
That you can just go through them?
No. The opposite. You should be able to go through them because in space, they're actually really, really, really spread out. So in Star Wars, it's like, there's an asteroid field. And in Star Trek, there's an asteroid field. Let's hide inside it. Let's go inside it. Actually, they're huge bodies that you can get ships through pretty easily. It's not like a dense ring going around Saturn. Asteroid fields are pretty spread out. So I just like the fact that it says unusually dense as like a little acknowledgement that usually you'd be able to fly through this, but this one is unusually dense. It's such a nerdy little thing, and I hope it was deliberate.
We can hope.
It's
not
hope.
something that I hyper-focused on. I was more...
Really? Shocking.
No. I was mostly looking at this scene where they're just like shooting rocks out of space, remembering all of my growing up in the Ozarks with a whole bunch of like hillbilly boys with guns going.
So Wolf's a hillbilly.
What are we doing on the weekend? And then you go to someone's farm and you set up tin cans and you shoot them off of a fence.
This is Starfleet hillbilly range shooting. Today at the firing range.
Like, we're gonna go find this random. We got to shoot something. We've got to test the system. So I just kind of enjoyed the idea that they were doing this already. There's a question that just came up in the chat a moment ago. Are they affected by the?
Not yet.
At this point,
Not
by
yet.
the situation?
No, because Picard and Data. Because Picard hasn't been affected yet. Or else Picard would be affected on the
before
shuttlecraft.
he comes back.
Exactly. He's only infected when he comes back to the ship.
So the idea is that everyone, this is not explicitly lined out in the episode,
no.
that the people who are at sick bay end up infecting everybody else as they interact with them.
Correct, which is why Riker definitely gets it, Barclay definitely gets it, Alyssa definitely gets it. Worf is a slight question. I guess Riker interacts with Worf because he's very, very close and over Worf's shoulder. Worf is very close to Deneé, to Deanna. So I guess that's how the main crew get it first, because Geordi takes a while until he's infected, and some of the crew take a while as well.
Yeah, it would be interesting to watch it back and try to really pinpoint what was purposeful or if it was just plot driven.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I love it.
But it's important. Picard and Data need to leave so that they can come back and rescue the crew later. And then we just get to watch shit get wacky.
It's so fun. Like, when I watched it this time round, I was like, you can get all the way up to like the first symptom, which is Worf having lunch. Because even when he's irritable on the bridge, that's just kind of normal. Like, Worf is just irritable. Riker tells him to take a break. That makes sense. He goes to 10 forward and has some food. It's only when Deanna turns up and is like really thirsty, and they're kind of like, then Worf is acting weird.
Yeah, he's really aggressive.
What's the episode doing? Like, all the way up until this point, you're like, when's the episode gonna start? Like, where is this going? Because we spent a lot of time getting here with no explicit setup as to what the episode is about.
It's really subtle in a way.
Super subtle, and I love that.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Unless you know what's coming, those little tiny things at the beginning are potentially just an off day. And I think I have to believe that Deanna is pretty off at this point, because she should be picking up on something from Worf with her sensibilities and her senses.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Especially when he's giving the eyeballs to the lady that's bringing them food and is like eyeing up her everythings. Deanna,
Worf
you would
goes
think would
animal.
pick that up. Yeah.
How great is it to be able to act underneath a prosthetic that intensely?
It must be so much fun.
Really uncomfortable. Like, he's doing a great job of making this a very uncomfortable couple of scenes where he's not just animal, but he's like animal hunt for mate, you know, like when he gets to her in the tub later, it's just like,
uncomfortable. Yeah.
You know, but that is like what this episode is going towards. You just don't kind of know it yet. He's just maybe having a bad day and he's just really aggressive, and Deanna is not picking up on it because she's obviously, you know, impacted. I think certainly an uncomfortable thing that I'm thinking about, and I will continue, I just have to shut it down, is the progression of this disease, because Deanna and Worf were both close to Riker, but was Picard close enough to Riker too?
Great point.
I mean, it just, they were all on the bridge together. And at this point, Riker's the strongest one that's been exposed. But at the table, it's evident that both, like, that Worf is just very quickly advancing, and so is Troy.
Yeah, I think
so. I think it's just for fun. We gotta let it go and just have fun with it.
No, I think that's one we just let go. They do enough, but it is interesting that Picard escapes. It seems like within minutes of this really being a problem. Well, no, because Worf has been working on the problem for 6 hours before Riker approaches him. So I guess there is that kind of, because Picard leaves pretty quickly. 6 hours later is when we see the symptoms kick in.
Well, that's when we should see Riker's symptoms more strongly kicking in, if we believe that he was a more advanced stage, and he just infects Worf at that point.
I mean, that's me guessing. Like, that's not explicitly said. That's just where, like, my bunny trail of logic goes, because it's clearly an airborne thing. So at this point, it's kind of arbitrary. With recycled air, it's getting to everybody relatively quickly.
Right, but the idea is that somehow Picard is delayed until he arrives 3 days later. And that's the part that is kind of like annoying to me. Is they all kind of breathe the same air there for a hot minute. Yeah. Chat points out they have different alien physiology, and maybe they're more susceptible. That's definitely possible.
Maybe he has a faster metabolism. Maybe Beta Zeds do as well, or Betazoids, and they just metabolized it quicker and started to turn.
But yeah, it's really concerning at that little dinner, you know, where Worf is eating people with his eyes.
Oh, yeah, he is. So we kind of go through crew member to crew member. Barclay is hyper and super focused on the job at hand, whereas Riker and Geordi are very lethargic.
Yeah, and also Worf, we've seen Worf try to go to sleep that night, and he turns into a very wild version of himself where he makes himself a little nest on the floor.
Makes himself a little Klingon nest on the floor.
I thought he was about to start a fire. Like he was gathering kindling.
So funny. That would have been when he starts cooking a crew member that he's already hunted.
It was wild. That scene is where the show wants you to know that something is off.
Yeah.
And it is like Worf's hair when it is down is so fucking beautiful.
Right. How often have you seen it down?
It's rare. It's just so rare.
It's just like a season 6 and 7 thing. It may just be season 7.
And like, I don't know, him jumping up and down and just like sniffing and everything and turning kind of into this like, if you watch the show, how dangerous a Klingon can be.
Oh, good Lord.
Without that like discipline, the evolved discipline,
compared to what they were. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, we know what is kind of happening. Like he's turning into some kind of an animal version of him.
Thing. Sorry. I devolved into a Kirk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It makes sense that would be your
yes,
de-evolution.
It would. Yeah,
honestly.
that would be my de-evolution. Yeah.
So that was a really interesting kind of thing. Yeah, and then we go into Barclay and he is just...
I'm on it. I'll get back out of the It's the thing with the thing and the thing and the thing and the scanner, the thing, the sensors, Riker.
And that's Barclay. That's what he's doing. He's just zipping around in engineering as they're looking at various things happening with the ship. And I think the idea is that that's because he's a skittery spider.
Yeah, he's devolving into a spittery arachnid insect type thing. I know spiders aren't insects, but that body of things that are all jumping around. And he and Alyssa do a great job of acting their creatures out. So I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but when they get to the full briefing that there is a disease that is spreading through the ship, and Riker is like feeling a bit dopey and caveman-y, and Barclay is just like on him, and just like his head is twitching, and I'm thinking about
so fun.
Matt Mercer when he's doing a creature and he's like chittering around. Dwight Schultz is doing a great job of that. And then did you notice Alyssa with her palms and the way she leant on the table?
Oh, yes.
And especially when she gets...
what's her name?
Alyssa Agawa.
Agawa, yes.
Especially when she gets up to leave, she like puts her knuckles on the table and then like kind of ape walks away.
I love funny.
That so much.
Yeah.
It's really so subtle. It's not too much. It's not a caricature. Just very, very subtle.
The other thing that's happening is the married couple argues over the thermostat cliche.
Do you know that Deanna and Worf are a thing right now?
It was evident in this episode that was an attempted thing because they were supposed to meet for lunch. And there was this sort of back and forth between them.
The weirdest thing in season 7. So
I mean, you know why it ends. He bit her face.
It's fair. And that's not when it ends. It actually continues right up until the finale of TNG. So they are a dating couple-ish at this point.
Right on.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, Deanna.
I don't get it in the context of the show, but I don't even know if I get it for them too. It's in. I guess she's been there for some crew. Anyway, we could do a whole Worf Deanna arc thing. It's interesting. Yeah, I think she recently passed away, right? Nurse Agawa?
Who?
Patty Usaki?
That was so random. We're talking about Troy.
Sorry,
Jesus Christ, you can't do that to me.
Marina Sirtis is still with us. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Yes, she did. She passed away last year. Bunny trails. I want to get to what for me is the scariest, most haunting part of the episode. I hate it every single time, even though it's resolved very quickly. Worf has bit Deanna. Deanna goes to sick bay. Beverly is analysing them both. Beverly notices the venom sacs on Worf's neck and then gets acid attacked in the face. It's not often that we see the female characters specifically in pain, attacked. She is in agony, writhing on the floor. And this affected me as a kid. I was like, that's one of my characters. That's one of my people. And she is not well. She is like, Gates McFadden's acting in that. Like, I love it. She is in so much pain. And it's so haunting. Like, I know nothing comes of it because Nurse Agawa was just like, yeah, if she needs reconstructive surgery, but nothing like a dermal regenerator won't fix. So nothing comes of it. But I'm just like, it melted her face.
And she was beautiful by the end of the episode again. Just absolutely fine.
No trauma, one episode memory. What a hideous attack to live through, even if there's no lasting consequences. Horrifies me. Like, does that scene hit you the same way?
This time it did, and it's because of how she acted.
Yes.
She drops to the floor and is screaming. So it's very well done because that is exactly what you would do if you just got acid to the face. It would be horrible. But to be honest, and I'm not saying she deserves this,
Oh no, she deserved it.
I'm appalled at how many medical weird shit
Insane.
goes down in this episode, because there's such a casual approach to just about everything. And maybe that's just the byproduct of living on a spaceship and seeing cuckoo bananas stuff all the time.
You've mentioned this before, the casualness with which you approach.
So it's
these
like
things when you're faced with them day to day.
You know, for me, the most normal thing would be gigantic cactus pokers in the back of someone's back because they rolled around with it. Like that would be almost more frightening than anything else you usually see. Someone walks in and they have to have an arm regrown. Someone comes in and they're in someone else's body that day because they had, like there's just the list of crazy shit is so fun, which is part of why this show is so fun. And Star Trek in general is so fun because they just get to experiment with
you can do
science
any
fiction.
genre, anything you want any given week.
But to be in front of Worf, who is clearly unwell, who has bitten Deanna in the face and nearly took off her cheek.
You don't go to a dog that's just bitten somebody and then offer up your hand as a metaphor.
That is so fucking fucked up.
As a metaphor.
But he is clearly like disconnected. He's not speaking. And just to like see something and say, open your mouth. The amount of things that could happen. Let's just list a few. What could happen if Worf opens? Well, we know the venom sac is one.
What could go right?
Something could pop out of his mouth. Yeah. That's been living inside of him like a little.
Oh, like an alien
burrowing
mouth?
Yeah, a little alien tongue comes out and just like sucks on her nose. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That could happen. Halitosis. Hello.
At best.
Did you see his lunch?
He ate
octopus.
It was
terrifying. Yeah. So many things can happen in her reality. And she's just leaning in there.
Well, she explains exactly what it is. I don't often write lines down, but back to back, she says it's filled with some kind of bioacidic compound like a venom sac. Period. Open your mouth. I
am not saying she deserves it.
Beverly. But
I'm not saying she deserves it.
For the record, we're not saying she was asking for it.
I'm saying
in this case,
a computer erect a field, like something to protect yourself.
My hand. Acid my hand.
But I still was very alarmed by it. In fact, my notes were Beverly, no, even though I know she's going to be fine. No, it was really hard to watch her go down because she's a beloved character. Yeah. That was definitely a little crazy. Yeah. But you know what actually made it really hard too is that just before that is when we see Worf assault Troy in the bath.
Yeah, and you're keeping them in the same room together, like bio bed next to bio bed.
Crazy.
Insane.
So it was a very intense few minutes of the episode there because it kind of is like, yeah, we're going to do some reconstructive surgery. And then that's kind of then we go into...
But there's one other thing in sick bay I wanted to mention that has just always bugged me and I just got to get it off my chest. The opening, when we first get to sick bay, Deanna's on the bed and it's just like, it's so cold. Take her out of her soaking fucking clothes, Beverly. Like, she's still sat there in her uniform that is soaking wet. Like, any blankets you put on her, take the wet clothes off first. Beam them off.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Get her a fresh set of pajamas, for crying out loud.
The next scene is the scene you mentioned before about Riker and Barclay kind of together, and we're really seeing the de-evolution begin. I love that scene. Like you said, they were just so funny together.
It's such a funny scene compared with like how serious the shit is happening, and Riker like opening the channel to Starfleet.
Oh, I know.
And drifting off.
Can I read you my note from that moment?
Please.
He's a handsome, mindless potato now.
Do you like him better that way?
No. It's not as jarring to see Riker lose his mind as it is to watch Picard later for me.
Correct.
But it's an interesting kind of idea that Riker's just like at this point when we kind of leave Riker, the idea is that he just can't remember how to get out of that room.
Yes.
And that's just where they find him in 3 days.
Oh, no, that's the observation. That's the observation lounge. He ends up in the ready room.
Okay, so he finds his way to the ready room.
Yeah.
And then he starts eating the fish to stay alive.
Yeah, he's trying to get to the fish, which has turned into a jellyfish. Livingston the fish has turned into a jellyfish somehow.
He evolved.
Who knows?
He de-evolved.
He de-evolved from whatever he was.
He also
into
was somehow
a jellyfish.
affected by the air, which makes total sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Just, this thing permeated everything. Poor Livingston.
Oh boy.
So we do transition from there to Picard and Data returning to the ship, and this is where we go full Halloween haunted house, nightmare terror. Gates McFadden, are you a horror fan? Like, do you just love that? Like, is it actually her dream to direct a horror movie? Because she does a great job of it. Like, the rest of the episode is darkness and tension and fear and Michael Myers chasing you down the corridor. Yeah, this is the really serious, scary part of the episode.
Yeah, this is definitely, I feel like it's not as scary as I've seen Strange New Worlds get. You know, like I'm comparing the difference between an updated Star Trek's version of a horror show
That's fair.
versus TNG. So this is definitely going to be the PG version of what I think Strange New Worlds was, maybe like PG-13 or even R a little bit, because they show so much blood. Yeah. There was a lot of like just medical gore. Like Strange New Worlds really pushes into that horror genre.
It does in terms of like blood and bodily injury, but
the tension buildup in that one episode was pretty intense though.
Which one?
The one where they were kind of mimicking the chest burster episode, I think.
Oh, yeah, from season 2. Yeah. They kind of was Alien, the movie, Star Trek episode. But yes, that one is scary and tense. But I think this is tenser. I think when you have, it's the Jefferies tubes. That's what it is. The Jefferies tubes are terrifying. So when Picard is running down the Jefferies tube with Worf outpacing him, that's scary. It's scary to me in the game when Wesley is running away from Worf and Riker in the Jefferies tube and they're chasing him down and they eventually catch him. Any chase scene that happens in that claustrophobic space, like that feels tense to me. And we barely see Worf. Like we barely see any of him as the creature he's become. So I just think the use of like not fully seeing this scary beast, but getting his stature and speed and the growling and all of the work they do with building up Picard to be more afraid than he's ever been because he's genetically coded to be afraid and to be prey.
Really, really cool.
All of that leads to believable tension for you. Like, I don't believe that Picard is in danger, but I really believe that he thinks he is.
This is one of those episodes that if you started up the intensity moment, it would start when they find the ship 2 light years off course or whatever. And which, by the way, I had a note at that point when the shuttle is getting back to the ship.
Yeah.
And it's sort of tilting in space.
Yes.
And the shuttle.
Let's go. Match the axial rotation of the ship.
You were so happy.
There is no need. There is Deneé. I love it when TNG does this, because TNG does it more than any other Star Trek show. It knows what I want to see. I don't know if I've been watching it as a child and that's why I like to see it, or I always like to see it and it just happens to show it to me. They could just appear on the ship, but instead he gives the command to match the rotation of the Enterprise, and then you just get a few seconds of the shuttle spinning in the wrong direction, correcting itself, turning and matching the Enterprise, and then it's in. There's no need for that. I wouldn't have missed it if it wasn't there, but I love it. I love it when they do that detail that seems unnecessary, but I don't know, just a cool visual that I love. I love this shit.
And that's where you would start this episode if it was one of those.
Yes, you could.
3 days earlier episodes where you started off and they're entering the ship and it's really strange and they're figuring it out, and then they're showing 3 days earlier and then catching you up.
You could,
but thankfully it doesn't do it.
Yeah, thankfully it doesn't do that, because
it's perfect the way that it is. I'm just saying, like, at this point is when the horror part kind of really kicks in, and it starts with the adrift ship because you know shit's wrong.
Oh, and it hurts me.
You're getting all the information. They're like, Picard's concern is their life. Data is trying to give the information. I love this part. It's like it makes sense
initial assessment.
to me. Yeah, there's this analytical assessment going on that gives interesting information as we're trying to figure out, well, why wouldn't the crew be showing up? And knowing, because this is the first episode where I know what's happening, was really interesting. I was really appreciating the tech speak that supported it a little bit more, which was nice. And then, when they get on the ship, it's fully like exploring dark corridors, hearing the echoey 300 sounds of different kinds of animals, and
yes, the different creatures.
The shedded human skin that he touched with his bare fucking hands. That's so gross.
It's so gross. And Picard, don't touch the door. Don't, he sees that Deanna's door is wet. Don't touch it. You should have gone back to the shuttle and got your spacesuits, because guess what? You wouldn't have got infected. How is that not standard procedure to just be in spacesuits at all times?
And then the sort of exploration, it was so eerie because when there is the dark ship and these little handheld, lights.
The palm lights. I love the palm lights. I want one.
And they're just, the direction is really interesting because you're fully in a dark corridor looking around and you don't even see them coming. Like they're not even on screen and they're talking, and it builds that tension really nicely. But again, for me, it was fun tension because one, I've already seen the episode, and two, it's a little bit PG-13. Like I'm not super worried.
Yeah.
The jump scare got me again, but that's okay. We'll get to that.
Deanna jumping out?
No. There's two. I guess there's two pretty good jump scares in this one.
Always terrifies me when Deanna jumps out of the water.
Barkley throws himself against the window.
That's a good one.
That's so fucking crazy.
Set dressing prosthetics in this episode.
It's fun.
Top notch.
Super fun.
So good.
So this is when though they realize by the going into Troy's quarters.
This is when they figure out, something's up.
This is when we really get going on seeing firsthand where this episode is truly going. How did you feel about this? Now you've seen it a lot. How do you feel about seeing Troy as a frog?
I hate it so fucking much. I have this weird, and I need to process it quite a bit. I have this weird, you've done something to something I love problem in my brain.
Like with the doctor.
With the doctor. With Beverly having her face
Stop
melted.
fucking with your women.
Stop fucking, not just the women. Barkley, completely restructured. Worf, completely restructured. Riker, cranium shrunk. Deanna, frog, Gilly. This is your prediction fingers. From her little suction cup fingers. I'm like, yes, you can undo it, magic science, fine. But it still happened. And in my brain, it's so hard. Like, that's changed you. That's you now. Like, that is something you have to live with. Like, in my brain, there is no amount of medicine that can undo it. I feel like there's always going to be something left that's a bit amphibious. Like, it's so drastic. And that's where TNG, Star Trek in general, can be careless with its characters, turning into salamanders, for example.
Well, that would never happen in Star Trek.
Tom losing his tongue. Like, all of this is stuff that should have permanence to it and never does.
No, it's in ribosciatic flux.
You have a name for it? Like, this is insane to me. I'm like, how do you have a... No, not you. I meant Star Trek.
No, I did, though. I wrote it down.
You did?
Yeah, that was me.
I'm just amazed that Data has a name for it. Like, Data's like, you can actually put a name to whatever is happening to her DNA as if it's completely explicable.
Yeah.
Oh, you've picked up a lizard. That's weird.
The genetic code has been resequenced, okay? She's no longer human, and this is where I get pissed.
Do it.
Why was she ever human to begin with?
Half human. She's half human, half Beta Z, but that is a bit of a scriptural flub, yes.
Very frustrated about that one. I was like, come on.
Totally get it.
She's no longer human. She was only ever a little bit.
Yeah, she was only half. Yeah, so I have this issue with the permanence of these, the lack of permanence and the lack of, like, consequences, basically.
Yeah, like, to me, it would have made more sense if the show ended, or towards the end of the show, Picard and Data were inoculated or whatever, or Data himself had to go one by one and just zap everybody and then drag them to the med bay and then like put them into a reconstruction chamber of some kind, you know, but we're just going to pump some new air into the room and, you know, it'll take about 12 hours, but everything's going to be just fine.
Everyone's going to be fine. They're going to be a bit confused. Somebody's going to be missing some limbs. They should use the transporter, honestly. Yeah,
transport everybody around, except for the guy that's dead.
Butter. So
that guy
this is a great point. This is something we really, really need to dive into. This is the biggest what the fuck of the episode for me. Like, this is what the fun so much, but the biggest what the fuck is how many people died and how there doesn't, obviously because it's just one episode memory, there is no accountability for that. Worf absolutely killed people.
You don't know.
And ate them.
You don't know.
We know that people died because there were fewer life forms.
We know that, but we don't know that he did it.
We know that he did. There's no way everyone escaped. We don't know.
There's no evidence.
I think Riker killed the person on the bridge.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
Right.
It is just, however, we never find out how many people died on the ship, but we know they've killed each other, and there is no reconciliation for that. You mentioned last week or the week before, there should be a series about counseling after the fact.
Yeah.
Everyone needs counseling because with the ship's sensors, there will be a record of who killed who. And I think you'd want to know, and I think the family members would want to know, but there are people with deaths on their hands.
Yeah, I mean, definitely having your upper spinal column broken into 3 places isn't something that happens just while you're sitting at the console and you just turn a little bit too quick. You know, we know he died because somebody killed him. What we don't know is who it was. And I think because the computer programs were all like taken offline, there's never going to be a way to prove that. It's a little Mbenga-y, right? So
your issue isn't that they died. It's as long as Worf didn't do it.
Definitely. Yeah.
You're going to defend him.
No. I'm going to defend that there's no proof of who did it, and that everyone at some point, they're not really accountable for their actions if they're not who they are.
No, I get it. No, I'm not saying anybody should be punished or...
But I think your point is that there needs to be a moment where the show acknowledges that
how messed up that is.
This dead guy was honored in some way at the end.
Just the fact that you've killed your own crew, like crew members have killed each other, like that's something you don't walk past. Like
we all need a kumbaya in sickbay.
It's such a messed up part of the episode.
We can go to 10 forward here.
This time we actually can go to 10 forward. But does it bug you as well? Does it? I don't know if it bugs me, but there's a casualness with it that Picard never really approaches when he sees the dead helmsman.
He was in a red shirt.
Kind of like, he was in a red shirt.
Yeah.
I almost want a moment where it's just like, damn it, we've killed each other. That sucks. This is a bad day.
Yeah, no, you're right. There is, again, it's just this casualness about people's bodies changing and death. And it is a little bit unnerving under the lens of more modern storytelling. Because I feel like that's more of a modern storytelling approach, is sort of...
actually deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
Like Lower Decks would.
Well, and also, you'll see it more too in like the bad guy, like what made the bad guy bad. And just sort of like bringing more story into each thing that you're putting up in front of somebody to enjoy. There's more intention in the storytelling these days, which I really do enjoy. And it is off-putting when you see the kind of... I guess we're never going to talk about that guy again. The
callousness of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is all going to be fine next week. Yeah.
My notes literally are, that guy is dead. He's like, he dead. He's ripped open. Worf, was that you? Upper spinal column broken in 3 places. His DNA was changed, but in the initial stages when he died, the bridge be fucked. Security cameras would be smart. That literally is my notes.
And we know they're on there, but I imagine they were offline.
Yeah.
They've buried those logs.
There's 1,011 individual life forms, all with similar flux. So the whole ship has been affected, and they're all scattered around, but they have been gathering in the Arboretum and the Aquatic Lab. Are you sad we never went there? Because I am. I would have loved to have gone in there and just seen like...
Well, we've been to the Arboretum, but not in this episode, obviously. But yeah, to see the members of the crew in their uniforms just like floating around or swinging through trees. Obviously budget restrictive, could not do that, but just, you would think somebody might have like turned the holodeck on as well, but I guess main power's off. But there should be some in the holodeck where they've created an environment for them, like a desert.
Oh, so
or
good.
Like, something else.
Yeah. Is that Cetacean Ops in the Aquatic Lab? Is that what that is?
No, that's got to be different.
Okay.
That's got to be different to Cetacean Ops. But I don't know why they wouldn't just call it Cetacean Ops, because we know it exists at this point.
I was thinking like, oh, that's fun. But that you're right. That is definitely a Lower Decks episode.
Yes.
Where they can draw them and not actually pay the people for being there. But it would have been so funny to open it up and it's like the Willy Wonka moment where you're seeing like an entire like ecosystem.
Yes.
And then, all these people just coexisting in this really strange little space.
What would have been great, and this is completely out of character, but Picard goes to the door, opens it up, sees how many crew members. We don't even need to see it. You just know that he's seeing it and sees all of his crew. Looks down at his tricorder and just says, nope, and just turns around and closes the door and leaves.
I don't want to write that report. They don't go there because they don't want to write the report.
I don't want to write what. Everyone is fucking. All of the animals are fucking in that room. So many people are pregnant now.
So the only thing that breaks the tension of this dead guy is that they hear the grunting noises of Riker in the adjacent room, and we get to see the cranial plates that have been thickened by 20% and the smaller brain that cannot comprehend language. But did you notice that Riker is flipping off Picard?
He's giving him a big old finger.
Did you notice that? Okay.
I think maybe he was aiming that at Livingston, the fish, but he was absolutely flipping off the captain.
It's just fucking funny.
It's so funny.
Like, I really, I'm sure that Frakes has been asked this many, many times. And if I were to ever be in the same physical space as Frakes, I would not remember anything that I would have ever wanted to talk to him about, but I would love to know if that was intentional. Like,
absolutely. I would bring this printout, get him to sign it.
Yes.
And just fuck you, Jonathan Frakes. And I have lived that experience today. I have come face to face with Jonathan Frakes and not known what to say.
I mean, it's intense sometimes when I've met some people that are like pretty big celebrity status, and it's just like, what do you say?
I have nothing. Sign my thing. I'm going to leave. I have nothing of relevance to say to you.
If I have more time with you, then maybe you'll understand the depth of my appreciation for your work.
And how we should be friends. And how I'm a good person for you.
Here's my cell phone number.
Anyway, back to the episode. Riker's trying to eat a fish. And then it comes at Picard. And then gets shot by Data.
Twice.
You okay?
Oh, I'm super okay because I know that Data's doing what Data's got to do, and he's saving the day. And this propels us into the analytical synthetic T-cell code activating the latent itrons in the genetic code that was dormant in this involuntary evolutionary holdover with key behaviors no longer being necessary.
There we go. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get to Data's quarters. They go to sick bay and start analyzing people. And just thank goodness that Data was the one that went with him. I don't know how anything happens if Data isn't on this mission with Picard.
Well, Data would have been
everything.
He would have.
Oh, he would have been on the.
He would have been on the ship, and he would have been fine, and he probably would have been figuring this out on his own.
Oh, that's interesting.
It wouldn't have been fun because he would have had it figured out.
Maybe Worf would have killed him.
I don't know. Okay, Proto Klingon versus Data. Data's winning.
Would Data kill him? I think Data would have to kill Worf.
I think Data would kill Worf.
Jesus.
I do.
Rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
Which is why we have to take Data off of the ship.
This is why Data needs to be taken out first. That's fair.
Also, this is the moment when Data tells Picard before they leave that he's going to be a little lemur or like a pygmy marmoset.
Pygmy marmoset. So we get lots and lots of exposition, lots of medical dump. They get to all of the right answers very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. And they realize that they need to get to a computer that can do all of the programming and whatnot, which leads them to Data's quarters, which leads them to the next convenience of kittens. Yeah. Which is what I believe they're called in a group, is a convenience of kittens.
Oh, it's so true. And it's so cute. And it's so sad because they don't have any milk. And how are they living? We don't know.
No.
It's really sad.
It hasn't been long. I think that's the point.
Ugh. It's like heartbreaking.
Yeah. I do remember.
The mother and me got very sad.
You wanted to... Never mind. I do remember the first time that we watched this episode, I was waiting for this. Because I knew the reveal of Spock being an iguana was coming.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at you more than the TV.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Is that Spock?
I forgot about it again. It popped up and my notes are, Spot, where are you? Oh my God. Oh shit, I forgot this part. Oh no, it's a little lizard. It's a little Spot izzard.
The boldness of just having a lizard. That's it. No attempt at anything at all.
It's so great.
Spot went full lizard.
Oh, but you know what? Because of that, we have the last little bit of information we need.
Yeah.
Which is the cure that involves antibodies because the fetus is protected by the womb and all of these different natural antibodies or whatever.
Which leads to an incredible line from Picard. We should locate a pregnant humanoid.
And then Data's like, how about Nurse Ogawa?
And my line for that was, oh, look, we just happen to have one in ship stores. What luck. Yes, we have one. But I guess if there's 1,000 people on board, I guess statistically at any one time, maybe one of them is pregnant.
I suppose.
But I still don't think it's that likely.
Well, it's happening in this one.
But it's happened. Thank goodness.
But before they locate her, but they have to fix a problem in engineering first, which is why we have to go to engineering.
Here
because there's a warp plasma vent problem. So it's not just that we're having this horrible like de-evolution thing. Oh no, something's happening in engineering.
Of course.
But here's one of my big problems with this episode is, do we ever see Geordi?
We don't see Geordi.
That is
so we
such
don't know.
A bummer.
Yeah, we don't know what he turned into.
I wonder why they chose to... Like, there's a moment when Picard is being chased through the Jefferies tube and he looks up and then there's like this, and there's like the venom comes down. I guess that's Worf, right?
Yeah, that's Worf. Okay, that's Worf chasing him for sure.
Because I was like, well, was that, because I kept looking for Geordi.
Geordi turned into like a snake?
I didn't know, well, he was left in the Jefferies tube. Last time we see him, he's with Barclay in the Jefferies tube and he says, I'm just going to rest here for a while. But we never see him. So I thought maybe he was just another like venom spitting thing in the Jefferies tube.
Wouldn't it be wild if we never saw Geordi again? He was just one of the crew members that died and was never mentioned.
Yeah, but then we have to go back to that part about never honoring the dead. If he died, then he wouldn't be in any future episodes. Mm-hmm. So we know he can't. He doesn't die.
Yeah, he is kind of a noticeable absence because we know he's being affected by it as well. But yeah, it doesn't appear for the rest of the episode.
What do you think that they would have made him?
What didn't we cover?
Oh, like a turtle. A
little adorable turtle just walking around?
Yeah.
I think bird.
With like a little visor on.
We wouldn't need the visor.
I know, but it would have got like stuck on him. And like part of his little...
Tortoise with a visor? We need that. We absolutely need that. There's a Build-A-Bear with a visor.
What if it was like a turtle that was using the visor as like a little hoverboard, just zipping around?
I don't think you understand how visors work. He had
engineered the visor right before he like lost it. He's like, I got to be able to get around faster if I'm going to survive.
And instead of replicating a hoverboard, he decides to reverse engineer the visor into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love your brain sometimes.
Just sometimes though.
Amazing. So this is where we get some super horror moments as well. Picard is tapping into his very scared genes. Yep. And this is another stupid moment for me.
Barclay?
He sees the webbing and decides to walk through it. You know that the crew are turning into creatures. If you see webbing, I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm not walking through the webbing, waiting for a 6-foot spider to jump out at me.
This part, I don't know, it works for me a little bit because I was feeling this sort of push and pull of Picard wanting to go against his instincts while he was still human. Because he's realizing that he's afraid. And this is when Picard's character begins to become uncomfortable for me because seeing him unnerved makes me unnerved because it's his steadfastness in the show that makes me feel steadfast.
He's the problem solver. He's the rock.
But even with what happens with Worf here in a minute with the spraying of the pheromones and he faces his fears and runs out to save the crew and save the day, like he's in this interesting, like he knows better, but he's still trying to do what he's got to do. And that for me, it works.
That I love. He commits to doing it before he can talk himself out of it. So they know that they need to get Worf away so that Data has enough time to come up with a cure. But Worf is trying to get to Deanna. So they need to protect Deanna and give Data time to make the cure. And it's how quick that Picard snatches the hypo spray and he's like, no time to argue, gotta go. He's not just convincing Data, he's convincing himself as well. He's like, logically, I have to get past this fear, even though I'm the prey and I've got it right. He just like Patrick Stewart's acting in this, unsurprisingly, is great. It's really subtle. It's so good. And I feel his anxiety so well. And it's the scariest bit of the episode for me when he's going through the corridor, spraying everything, and then running into the turbo lift and into the Jefferies tubes.
So scary. The Barclay thing, how did that work for you? That jump scare was crazy.
The jump scare
got me again.
It's hideous. Like it's the best prosthetic work of the episode, and the amount of work that went into that for a few seconds, and then he just jumps away like Deanna in the bathtub. So scary, but yeah, it looks beautiful. It's so cool, beautifully horrific.
What happens next? There's something at the door that interrupts them because, oh no, it's Worf.
Yeah, no, but that was it. Worf interrupts them,
Yeah.
starts trying to bash down the door, and they figure out what they have to do. And that's basically that's the episode. They come up with the cure. It's very conveniently pumped into the ventilation system, and that's it. The crew is saved and back to normal, and nobody worries about all of the crew members that Worf ate.
We do need to specify that they get him away because Troy's pheromones.
Yes.
Specifically because he sees her as his mate and wants to have him, and Data takes fluid from her sebaceous gland where her pheromones are produced. And once again, the medical shit happening in this episode is a little much for me.
You can do it. That's
you just did what from where? What? Where is the sebaceous gland you're just piercing for some fluid?
Is that a real thing?
A sebaceous gland? Yes. Yeah. Sebaceous glands are real, but I guess maybe it would be more located because she's in frog form.
I don't know. I don't know how frogs work.
I mean, so the sebaceous gland is I think it produces oil.
Okay.
Like sebum.
Which makes sense.
I think it's called sebum. And it's supposed to just kind of help coat your skin, keep you moist, that kind of thing. So I'm wondering if because she was a frog, she had a larger gland. But these glands in us are, if I remember, very small. So when he's I'm just going to get some of this, it's not like it's a pouch. Do you know what I mean?
These hypo sprays are magical.
We've seen Worf's venom pouch, quite large.
Yes.
I'm it's, so you might think a sebaceous gland is just this big bulb of whatever.
Right.
But maybe it's different on frog. I don't know.
Maybe it's different for frog.
But I remember them being more about skin and hair and stuff. But that's my very brief memory of what a sebaceous gland is.
Love it.
The word sebaceous.
Well, it all works. Ambassador, overall, are you giving this 4 pips? Is that your pips?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I loved this episode. This episode's really, really fun for a lot of reasons. I think whenever a sci-fi show can just take off the gloves and go fully in a direction and have a good time, I really, really enjoyed it. There's not really a part of it that I don't like that we didn't get to see Geordi. Mm-hmm. I feel that was kind of a bummer. Maybe he had something else to do that day and he could just make a brief appearance and then he had something else. I just imagine that if he was on set that day, he would have had a chance to transform. I think so,
but maybe there was the amount of prosthetics, maybe there was a limit.
I don't know.
We can do it to this many characters. This is the time that we've got. How quickly they were turning these episodes around.
Yeah, but to pick Barclay over LeVar Burton, that's so crazy to me.
Good point.
I don't know.
His hypochondria sits into this so well too.
So yes, this is a 4-star. We saw Picard electrocute Worf in this episode. How do we not give it 4 stars?
That's so true.
That was so crazy. The fact that Worf survives it all is,
oh my gosh.
And him just lumbering there, just breathing while he's huddled in the corner. And that's just haunting shit.
And Data's just are you okay, Cap? She's yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. I hope he'll be okay when he wakes up.
Tendencies.
But I love how quickly he MacGyvers that. And there's foreshadowing for that as well, because Barclay, that's the panel that they rerouted earlier because of the acid, and he kind of swings it around a little bit and it sparks. So it's the same one that Picard pulls out and electrifies the ground, and he sits on the little plate. I don't know how that insulates him, because I'm pretty sure the plates are just as metal as the frame.
I know.
And I think his boots would be fine.
Yeah,
they may catch fire, but
you know what?
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
But yeah, that happens. And then we do have to say too that this ends with everybody kind of Barclay gets to have Barclay's protomorphosis syndrome named after him, and then so he's happy, and then Deanna has to clear her schedule because of everybody needing to have counseling. But my question is what about you? Who's going to counsel you? Right. You were bit by your man, turned into a frog lady, had somebody take out some sebaceous gland. No, wait, that was somebody else.
It's what's funny for me in this last scene is the casualness that Beverly has when she's talking to Barclay, and Barclay's so I guess this is all my fault. And Beverly's no, technically it's my fault, I guess. I just activated all of the genes by mistake. Whoopsie doodle, oops, all the genes.
Yeah.
Because she should have a little bit of remorse. This is pretty big. You killed people, Beverly. People are dead because of your mistake.
This episode needs to be in several categories. It needs to be body horror. It needs to be Star Trek horror.
Yep.
It needs to be medical horror. It needs to be doctor fucking up the entire ship category.
Mm-hmm.
What other categories could this one be in if you were going to try to like introduce it?
This is shuttle returns from adventure and ship is fucked cliche.
Yeah.
That happens in a lot of episodes. Data saves everything day.
Data saves the day.
Medical technobabble episodes.
Yeah, this has some really good medical technobabble for
ship
sure.
Is broken.
Another question: would you introduce this to some? Like, would you make this one of like the first 5 episodes you ever show somebody?
First 5, interesting. If I know they're a fan of horror and like prosthetics, I would tailor it to their tastes. So I think I might do. It's so hard. I'd have to know why that person is getting into Star Trek, because more and more I'm just like, start from the beginning and sit with it. If you're committed to getting into Star Trek, then go from the beginning of TNG. But if I'm like handpicking episodes, I don't know if this one makes it, because so much of it is about knowing the crew. Like I feel like those introductory 5 episodes, I've got to give you a lot of character studies and a lot of the crew working together, coupled with it being fun as well.
I would do like a variety, sort of like a tasting menu. And this could certainly be on the tasting menu for me, because you're going to have like your standard, we're going to go discover a new world today. Then you've got your something is happening on the ship episode. And this is definitely a something is happening on the ship episode. And it's also kind of fun. And it's definitely a what the fun. It's like both of them.
Oh, this is the perfect.
The cat turning into a lizard.
It's amazing.
The Beta Zet, like the Deanna turning into a frog, a woman turning into an ape, a Klingon turning into a crustacean. Like these are wild swings. So I think it's definitely one for the books.
Well, my pips are going to be, this is really hard. Is it 3 or 4?
I'm having a good time with it, but like I just had a really good time with this one.
I've watched it so many times, so there's a reason for that. 3 is really good. It's 3 because bottom line, what else? 3 because it's a bit silly and because it's not doing but it kind of is because it's entertaining. It's a bit too out there science fiction versus the like philosophical, really important Star Trek stuff. 3. I'm doing 3. It's 3. It's 3 pips. And 3 is great. 3 is a great score. Okay, with that, let's head over to the Jefferies Tubes to do some emails, because I think it's the safest place to hide. Do to beam out. Emails. Okay, hailing frequencies open, everyone. It's time for us to read your messages from Discord, Twitch, and, well, email. You are going to go first because
I want to read emails.
I had a couple of emails sent to me and I sent them straight to you to ask
it's my
to
turn.
me. So
it's my turn.
2 emails. Read them to me, Ambassador.
The first one is from Heather. It reads, to the concern that young Picard, spelled Peecard.
I am Captain Picard.
The young Picard doesn't have a French accent. Do you want him to have the brain of a child or an adult? Because most of the discussion was about him having an adult brain in a child's body. The accent is a mental thing, not a physical one, so it makes sense. The young Picard has the same accent as the adult version.
That's such a good point that makes me feel stupid. Like it's such like it sounds obvious when you put it like that because accents are environmental. It's what you're around.
Yeah.
So
it would be in the brain, just like all the knowledge.
It would be the same. Like it would be his voice would just be his English voice because it's younger and accents are a mental thing, not necessarily a physical. Like there are some physical sounds that we as Westerners can't make that are in like Mandarin. That's more difficult because that's like practiced. But overall, yeah, it's a mental thing. So he has the same brain. So he would say water and he would say grass. Like he would say the same accents in English. And
he would say Walter and Walter.
He would say water and water. And that's a great point. So thank you, Heather, for making me feel stupid for not thinking of that. But I that's a great point. Great point.
Heather had another point in the email. Secondly, someone showing up to work one day as one person and then as someone else, as another person, but still wanting the same respect, rapport that they have already established is something that has happened before. And then makes the point, just look to trans people having to transition on the job.
Yeah, again, it's a really, really good point. Like, and I don't think what Picard went through was unrealistic. I just don't know that he would have had to step down, like, because of it. Like, once they established he has the same brain, they, especially in the 24th century, you'd hope this crew of Starfleet people would have moved past it. But yeah, us today, we aren't accepting of that for sure.
My recollection would be that they were also still thinking that there could be other symptoms.
There was no proof of that.
But they hadn't run the tests yet.
Yes.
So she was wanting him to step down, not just because he was a child and not being viewed the same, but because they were running more tests.
Potentially, yeah, and there was more tests to come.
But to the point about transitioning on the job, I have not experienced something like that before, but I imagine that if you have and you watch an episode like this, you would really be able to relate to just suddenly being seen so differently and having to like call into question your ability to do something that you've already been doing really well for so long.
Yeah, that's hideous.
And how hard it is to have to prove yourself. Now, as a woman, I've had to prove myself differently at every job that I've ever had compared to my male counterparts. And that's not me being extreme. That's just kind of like how it always has been. So I always kind of feel like that's like my entry point for trying to relate to that kind of a conversation. But that's a really good point.
Yeah, great point. When we announced that we were doing Genesis, Paulie jumped into the Discord and left a message, wanted to share this in the live show and thought he could because we were going to be late, but then couldn't because we weren't quite late enough. So he said, please, somebody just mention carcinization out of desperation. I love the idea of carcinization. Do you know what this is, Deneé? This is the fact that crabs and that kind of shape where you have the flat shell and the legs, the carapace, that situation has evolved at least 4 or 5 times independently. So there are creatures that have ended up in that format that are completely distinct. So it's like there is this selective pressure where they have individually arrived, evolution has arrived at the same result with completely separate genetics, just purely environmental. And it's that this structure is favored by selective pressures. So this is just an optimized form of living. So if we follow evolution, and this probably links more back into Threshold, we wouldn't turn into salamanders. There's a good chance we turn into crabs.
Interesting.
Love that idea so much.
Okay, so I asked a Google AI mode to explain carcinization.
Careful, pinch of salt.
Like I'm 5 years old.
Yeah.
And it said it's the process where different types of crustacean animals like lobsters, shrimp evolve to look and act like crabs.
Yes.
It's a real and repeated pattern in nature, and scientists have identified it happening at least 5 different times in history.
Insane. It's wild. Like, once is cool, twice is a fluke, 3 what the fuck, 4 huh?
Wow.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
Over millions of years, different species of crustaceans, including some that were long and skinny like shrimp or lobsters, evolved independently to have wide, flat bodies and tucked under tails. This compact, armored design helped them survive better in their environment. Whoa. So while not everything will actually turn into a crab, the pattern shows that the crab body plan is very successful and efficient design for many crustaceans.
It's so fun.
That is really cool.
I love that.
And
it's such, like, for me, it's such a proof of concept for evolution. Like,
yeah,
evolution is such a hard thing to put in a lab and do repeatable experiments. Like, because that's where science comes from, is repeating the experiment again and again and again and again. And if it's consistent, there's your science until something else changes. You can't do that with evolution because you're looking at millions and millions and millions of years, but it's repeated its own experiment for us to prove that it works. Just for our show. How nice. Just for our show. Isn't that nice? Ambassador.
This one comes from John. I'm writing about the Voyager episode Threshold that you watched recently. Ian, you mentioned that the writers just dropped the warp 10 barrier on the audience out of nowhere. And it really bugs you because it's never mentioned in an episode before or again. And I think the rest of this email is to talk about how you might be wrong about that.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Bring it on. Because I could be wrong. I could have a bad episode memory.
Well, it starts off with, yes, the warp 10 speed limit was never mentioned in an episode or movie until this one. However...
wait. I'm right.
I made a guess.
End of
I
email.
haven't read it yet. I made a guess.
End of email, period, stop. I'm Captain Ian, and thank you for listening. I'm right. Yeah, the warp 10. I'm right.
Yeah.
First time it's mentioned.
Okay, but the email it goes on, so let me hit this. However, it was established 5 years earlier than Threshold in the 1991 Star Trek The Next Generation. Oh, it's a technical manual.
Okay, come on.
Hey, let me read this email. For those that are interested, you can look on page 54 to 56. The authors discuss warp theory and set warp 10 as the theoretical speed limit due to the infinite amount of power it would need to drive a starship to that velocity. In a side note, they explain that it was Gene Roddenberry who set warp 10 as the absolute speed limit. They had to come up with a way to shoehorn warp 1 to 9.999, etc. into the constraint without making Enterprise quote-unquote too fast, which would thereby make the Milky Way galaxy quote-unquote too small. Then John, God bless, links to an article, just in case you want to read it, for the TNG Tech Manual, page number 63.
There we go.
It's
okay, I have
on
it.
archive.org, if you want to go find it there. They continue. I consider this canon, since the Tech Manual was written by Rick Sternbach and Mike Okuda, and because Wikipedia says so, Ian. They conclude they would have written last week, but figured an army of nerds like themselves would have already written to you or hit you up on Discord. I hope you have some fun to check out the Tech Manual. If you haven't already, they conclude by saying, I know you love starships, and the manual is a true gem. It even drills down into waste management. That's so fucking fun. Tech manuals?
I have the Tech Manual.
Oh, so you know this already.
So I haven't read it all yet, much to my chagrin. There is if it's not, I'm going by our job rules, which is if it's not on screen, it's not canon. Technically, yes, that is canon, but I think you could be forgiven for saying the first time that it's mentioned in the show brings it new life. But yes, the technical manual is, as far as I'm aware, correct. And I like Mike Okuda, I trust him. So you know the TNG, and you picture the keyboards that they type on.
Life forms.
He designed them with his wife. They are the rectangles and the colors and the ovals are called Okudagrams. After him.
That's so fun.
If there is, he basically designed the internal look of the 24th century as we know it. Like, he is the man. So I will accept that we are both right. Because I did say this is the first time it was mentioned. And I don't know if you can say a book mentioning it counts as
Listen,
much.
I'm always impressed by the level of nerddom that I am exposed to on this show.
It's amazing. And I will stand corrected, but be happy that I am technically correct.
In the live chat, Ryman points out that the warp changes scales like 3 times, ? TOS went faster than 10. In The Changeling, Season 2, Episode 8, a probe goes to 11. In Season 3, Episode 14, TOS, the Enterprise goes to warp 14.1. But in 24th century, it's rescaled.
Yeah, I think the accepted headcanon by fans is that the TOS scale is different from the TNG scale to account for why there wasn't a big gap. Kirk's Enterprise could basically, I think, go to warp 7 or no, maybe it could go to warp 9. Anyway, there wasn't a big enough difference between the Enterprise, Kirk's Enterprise and Picard's Enterprise. So in one of the movies, they've reset the scale and there's this transwarp scale, which is the scale that the Enterprise D uses, which is a lot faster. So warp 1 might be Kirk's warp 5 or something like that. I don't know what the actual translation is, but yes.
You know what I love?
Yes.
These things matter.
Oh, they do. They do.
And they also don't matter.
No, they matter because it's the universe. It lives and breathes.
I think, and we've talked about this before, it's been a while, but the infrastructure of pretend reality
is important.
I think is what's allowed Star Trek to sustain itself for a long time. It's like Tolkien's written language for like Elven, the Elvish language, or the world. There's such an amount of like detail that certain creators put into the start of something, and it gives a major foundation for other people to play in that garden.
Exactly.
And so like Roddenberry, for example, created something with enough detail and like foundation that people in the future like us get to enjoy it and also create from it. And there's like a little infrastructure for play.
And that's why it's so important to me, because that infrastructure, if we honor it and play in it, anybody can write inside of it and be consistent. So that's why being able to like carry stories from the 60s into the 2020s, that consistency is so important for me, because it honors all of it. And it means anybody can jump in and write, as long as we're playing by the same rules, expanding them where needed, but not outright throwing them in the bin and starting again, because then you've got a different universe.
Right, but I think what's interesting is when the fans clash a little bit on like what you're not supposed to fuck with.
Of course, yeah, that's the hugest argument that we have.
And some fans get to have the privilege of actually evolving into the writers that create the content.
Yes.
And then they get to take big swings sometimes about what is and isn't allowed. So what a fun world to play in. I'm excited. Is there any other emails from anybody this week?
No, that's it for this week. It's just on to reveal what next week's episode will be. So an update based on all of the selections. So we have 11 selections. The rankings based on last week have changed thanks to your votes. Our current top 4 is Spock's Brain, Shore Leave, Move Along Home, and A Piece of the Action. That's 3 TOSs and a Deep Space Nine, which means next week's episode will be TOS Season 3, Episode 1, Spock's Brain.
Oh, I'm so nervous about anything related to Spock. I get really passionate about Spock.
This is going to be a rough one. The full list, as it stands at the minute, is number 1, Spock's Brain, number 2, Shore Leave, number 3, Move Along Home, number 4, A Piece of the Action, number 5, Voyager's Tinker Tailor Dr. Spy, number 6 is TNG, The Royale, number 7 is A Fistful of Datas, number 8 is Phantasms, number 9 is Starship Mine, number 10 is Disaster, and 11 is Deja Q. So TNG being heavily represented, but TOS dominating the top 4. Send all of anybody, if you've already sent it, send it again, because if you voted for Spock's Brain, that's now not needed anymore. So you can do a new set of rankings based on what you want the next 3 episodes to be. Send those to Ian at iananddeneé.com. Go to patreon.com/iananddeneé and comment in the post, and check as I update it based on the emails that we get.
Also, keep in mind that next week is Halloween and our live show is going to be changing. So if you like to come to the live show, you're going to be wanting to tune in on Saturday.
Live at 12 p.m. on Saturday. Join the Discord. The link for that is in the description. You can also DM me on Discord with your favorites as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, because your input actually changed the entire ranking system.
It literally did. I can tell you that A Piece of the Action jumped up from 7th place into 4th based on your emails and messages, and kicked out Tinker Tailor Dr. Spy. It's very close between 4, 5, 6, and 7, so it can all change. But until next week, thank you for listening. I'm Captain Ian, and Doctor, my capillaries are shrinking.
Your what?
My capillaries are shrinking.
Oh, capillaries.
Oh, my Doctor, my capillaries are shrinking.
Capillaries. Sorry.
Capillaries.
And it's do not approach me what is it? Unannounced? Yeah. Do not approach me unannounced when I am eating. From me.
Live long and Podsper.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Captain's Pod. If you'd like to get in touch with the podcast, you can send us an email to ian@iananddeneé.com. And if you want to support the show and get the episodes early, you can go to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/iananddeneé. If you want to catch the show live, we have those links down in the description for YouTube and Twitch. And then I think I'm supposed to close this hailing frequency, so bloop bloop, we're out. How quickly quickly were you able to let go of the broken mystery on the back porch?
Oh, immediately, because I assumed it was the wind.
But there's a ball there that we've never seen before. That is not our ball.
There's balls that are under. There are balls that make it into the yard. So my assumption would be that one of the dogs chewed on it, brought it up. To set the stage, on our backyard, there is a
covered porch.
And it's completely covered.
Right.
And there is a table, there was a plant pot on it and some glass. And one morning, it was none of that was on the table anymore. And there was a tennis ball in the mess of the glass and the pot. But the only way that would have happened is if one of the neighbours from either side threw a ball with enough speed that it went
and hit the plants and broke them.
Yeah, but under the porch, under the covered porch.
Exactly.
So I think it's more likely that the tennis ball was already there and we didn't notice it. The dogs put it there and it was windy, so the wind blew the glass off the table. So I didn't think there was much of a mystery, which is why I let it go.
I wish I could be like you. I can't stop thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah. For all of the reasons that you just mentioned. We do. I just didn't put it out.
Yeah, I know. There is also we will never find out. So it's very easy for me to put that down. We will never know exactly what happened.
Yeah, I guess that's a good reason to just let things go. But I can't stop thinking about it. Fuck is a bourbon biscuit?
Here we go, bourbon biscuits. You've had these. So they are the chocolate ones and they have it's 2 chocolate.
Hold on, sorry, I was thinking American biscuit. We're talking about
English
biscuit.
Yeah,
biscuit. So it's like a cookie.
It's a biscuit. It's a biscuit. It's different from a cookie. This is a chocolate biscuit sandwich, and it's got chocolate biscuit and then fondant and then chocolate biscuit, and it's a rectangle. And you definitely had one. So you remember the custard creams?
So they would keep you awake because of the sugar, not the bourbon.
The sugar. Yeah, no, they don't actually have dripping bourbon in them.
It's not like a little bonbon where you bite into it and it's just like a fruit gusher and it just bursts bourbon into your mouth.
But do you remember the custard creams? Do you remember those?
Yes.
They're the yellow ones. You don't. You don't.
I do.
Such a bullshitter.
I do.
I do. You do not. I had an interesting conversation with Aaron Dicer the other day about podcasting in general.
With me specifically?
And we were talking about you and the beauty of you. And we both talked about how unique and entertaining your approach to doing a show is.
Fuck, I'm so sorry. I even tried to stay on track last week.
Let me finish. And I feel bad. You should not stay on track. You need to do this show however the hell you want to do this show. And we've been doing it for 4 years.
You know it's
we will do it. I'm going to try to corral you exactly the same amount as I have been because it's been working. Mm-hmm. But you need to follow your instincts.
Frakes, I would just fucking clam up.
Yeah, 100%. Me too. Yeah.
I also would probably be trying to figure out how I could time it to where I would accidentally be in the elevator with him at the same time.
Interesting.
And just have 30 more seconds.
Wow. Captive.
You know?
You're going to do what's the movie called?
Nope, not that.
You know the movie I'm talking about.
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah,
nope, you do. No, I wouldn't do that.
Misery. Wandering, you are in my brain. You're going to do a Misery on Riker. You would absolutely do a Misery on Riker. If you could go back in time afterwards and then not do it but still have the memory, would you do it?
No, I would. If I had 30 extra seconds with Jonathan Frakes in an elevator, and it was me, who else is in the elevator with us?
Data.
Okay.
In character. Brent Spiner in character. And Deanna.
In character as well?
No, Marina Sirtis out of character.
So it's Marina.
Yeah.
Frakes.
And Data.
And then Data in character.
100%.
And this is us in an elevator.
Yeah. And I'm probably above the elevator, just peeking in.
Okay. Real life scenario.
Yep.
I would turn to Data and I would say, I'm going to do a human emotion thing. But I want to involve you because Data would appreciate that because he wants to be a human. And then I would look at Frakes and I would look at Marina and I would just be like, I love you guys. And I would tell them how much they mean to me. Aww. And I would cry And then I would hope that they would come in for a little hug, like have a little moment. And then it would be Data kind of doing the awkward pat on the back.
Just full palm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And then he would say something like, I understand it's human tradition to take a selfie in a moment like this. And then he would grab a phone and he'd pop a selfie.
Beautifully framed.
Yeah. And maybe they would believe it was from such the heart that they would be like, I want to hang out with you again.
Yeah, there we go. That's it.
But that's 30 seconds. I mean, like, it's gone.
You could drop them.
Here's a sad thing. We know that they all listen to our podcast. So, like, it's never going to happen because now they know.
Because now you've put it out there. Yeah. You've ruined it. Anyway, back to the episode.
Okay, so we got to put this on. This. This. Like, I get curious about, like, how other people's bodies do stuff. And then, like, you know.
I don't. Your body is your body. Nobody no need to nobody but your body.
Nobody need nobody. God, we're so good. Nobody would ever believe we were just completely off the cuff, you know? We're just that good.
You know my favorite thing about the Bruce Springsteen biopic?
Oh boy. No, what is it?
The audio nerds. So Bruce wants like a very specific sound, and all of the audio nerds are like, that sounds like shit. And then we get into like some detail about like levels, and they bring out this old machine from like the 50s that's like carving vinyl, like with a needle and a bit of rock. And it was just, I appreciated the audio nerdery of it all. I liked it.
That's great. That is so.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Oh, why isn't my camera plugged in? I got a bad desire. Ho, 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 I'm on fire.
Like your whole life now is just singing those songs.
It really is. Just Bruce Springsteen.
You're Bruce. You're Springy-steeny.
I'm a Bruce Springsteener.
I understand that. I do.
I really honestly, I'm listening to Nebraska, the full album. It's a fucking great fucking album.
Can we do the show?
It's so good.
Hey, we got people waiting for us, sir.
Nah, we don't.